the county saying, oh, by the way, you don't own this property fully anymore. And I was like, what?
That was wild.
It said like some random person's name was all of a sudden owned 25% of the property. I was like, no, I bought this property in full. So I called the county immediately, and they said, yeah, there's this person that's on title from 1991. And when it was sold to the next owner, mind you, there's been like between this person and when I bought it in 2011, there was like 3 other owners.
I couldn't remember.
And it was always sold as 100%, 100%, 100%. And they said they've been trying to reach out to the person and they never responded. And like, what the heck?
Welcome back to the Broke Millionaires, where we document our daily struggles in building wealth while raising a young family. Join us as we talk creative wealth building for everyday people and couples that are struggling in a down economy. I'm Lauren.
And I'm Joshua Masari, and we'll be your hosts.
We're back.
It's been a little while, a little break, a little unintended break.
Unintended break. I was just checking. Our last episode came out just over a month ago. A lot has happened.
Yeah, we didn't try it. Well, we took a little bit of a break for several reasons, but it was not fully planned, but just worked out that way. I think we're about to get back on our
we got
episode.
sick. Neither one of us could talk for multiple weeks.
Yeah, it wasn't planned. So
fun little cold going around.
First, I lost my voice completely for a whole week. It was really weird because I lost my voice, didn't have a voice, didn't have any symptoms of being sick, but just lost my voice for almost a full week. And then my voice started to come back, and then I got really sick. Mm-hmm. And then the next week, you lost your voice.
Yep.
So
and my hearing.
Your hearing.
I still can't hear fully.
We did our last episode, and then right after that,
the
voices disappeared for 2 weeks.
Yeah, we got kind of sick, and tonight's a little bit of a special episode. We are celebrating our 8th anniversary here.
Woo-hoo.
Recording.
Got the flowers here and the drinks.
Like, this just shows how
Cheers.
busy. Cheers, babe. Happy 8 years to us.
Yes.
The flowers just go to show how busy and chaotic life is right now, because I'm usually a psycho about the second you give me flowers, taking them out of the packaging and arranging them nicely. And as far as we got today was throwing them in some water as we were heading out the door to school and soccer and all the things. Life group. We got back from life group a little bit ago.
I wasn't sure if you were trying to take them back or why they were still in the packaging.
Take them back. Okay. I know. I'm sorry. I failed. Not my usual. It's just been a hectic day. It's 10:40 at night. I think this is officially the latest episode that we have.
I don't think it is, but it's pretty darn close.
Okay. It's definitely up there.
So we've also got some other things we're working on. So we moved out of the last house where we had kind of a dedicated studio space. We haven't had that. We've just been filming outside by the fireplace, on the couch, and on the spare bedroom, just wherever we can find it. We're at the kitchen table right now.
I don't think I'll fall asleep this time because I'm sitting upright.
Not as comfortable.
The couch and bed were not conducive to me staying awake at this time.
Yeah. Yes. So we are actually building out an official studio at the office for our other business. There's a section that I kind of cleared out and started using as a workout area, and we're going to use it as a flip space for our studio. But the idea is we'll be able to, have our studio just set up, and so we don't have to scramble. It took us an hour just to set this up for tonight's episode. This is a lot of work, guys. Yeah. We've got some new equipment, and we've been saving up and investing in new equipment and really trying to kind of get to the next level with our studio setup. But, the equipment's expensive, all the software, you got to figure out how to operate it, and just the setup. I think there's just cords everywhere. And it took us an hour just to get this set up to do this one episode. So this is a lot of work, but with the studio setup, it'll be nice because everything will just be set in place and just ready to go. And so we just kind of get there, don't have to set anything up, just turn it on and go.
Yes.
At least that's the idea.
Yeah, that's the idea. We will have to figure out childcare though, because
we can't have them sleeping in the office and late at night.
That's why
or
we
during the day, I guess.
record these late at night when they're asleep.
Yes.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. But the nice thing is the other like big part of this is that we'll be able to start doing in-person interviews, which
Yes.
we love doing the interviews, but it's just been really difficult with trying to navigate nap schedules, and all the interviews have to be video calls, which is fine. But we've done in-person video or in-person interviews, and they're just so much more fun and so much more engaging. And,
Yeah.
And it's like we're really excited to be able to start
The rapport is a
doing
lot
this.
better too, just to get to know people a lot better that way.
Yeah, so we've got a lot of people lined up that we're getting ready to bring into the studio. We're just waiting to get the studio live so that we can start recording. So we'll do probably a couple test episodes with just us, just to make sure everything's working smoothly before we have people in the studio. But we will be getting that up and running and launching in October. So we're very, very excited about that. So that's a big update on the podcast, I guess. Just, again, sorry for the missed episode, like missed weeks. We've missed a few weeks here, and again, it was not intentional, but a little intermission.
Hopefully you were all just hanging on by a thread.
Or maybe you were behind on
to
episodes, and so you were just getting caught up,
back.
and so now we're back. Yeah, so I mean, part of it wasn't just getting sick. Part of it is that we're building out this new studio to get everything set up, and so we've kind of been focusing on that as well. So hopefully our next episode will be in the new studio.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Weird.
So other exciting news with the Broke Millionaires.
We are getting ready to launch a community, and that's been another part of this kind of unintentional hiatus that we've had, has been a lot of brainstorming and just kind of back end preparing for this, and just we're very excited about it. I don't know. Just leave it at that for now.
Yeah, I mean, we actually joined a mastermind to kind of help learn how to do this, because it's a lot of work. There's a lot of back end work. There's a platform you got to launch, and you got to bring everything together, and it's
a lot of behind the scenes.
Lot of behind the scenes stuff, and a lot of expense to it. And so it's not just we're just starting a Facebook community. Like, this is going to be a pretty legit, engaging, like tight knit community that we're gonna be launching. It will be a paid community, but we're gonna provide a lot of value, and we've been getting a lot of feedback from people that are just relating to our situation and how we're building wealth and the things that we're doing. And so, and we've actually been talking to people as well, like consulting with people, just like pro bono, just helping friends and people that we know, just navigate their investing journey.
A bunch, very like different and random scenarios, but it's been really nice that they've thought of us to come to and to help them, and it's been really amazing, I think, to see it work out for them.
Yeah, I mean,
kind of.
We may be broke, but we are millionaires, and
we know what we're doing. We just
somewhat. So the cash flow thing is an issue right now, just because everything kind of closed in and hit at the wrong time. But we do have a lot of assets, and we are positioned well with what we've built up. We're just short on cash right now. But
cash wise, I feel like we've hit rock bottom. We've said that, but I feel like we're there, right?
We keep saying that, and then when it gets worse.
Yeah. Do we feel like we're starting like very, very, very slowly upward climb?
I think we're truly at rock bottom at this point. I don't think it can really get much worse. So, I mean, we have literally hit rock bottom. Like we've been, our main source of income kind of started tailing off about 2 years ago. While we were going through this big project and spending a lot of money and having a lot of, bleeding a lot of money, trying to get the project done, and losing our main source of income has not made things easy. We burned through all of our savings and all of our credit lines, and now we're just at the end of our rope. So we've really at this point, we're kind of at a make it or break. Like, we have to.
We said that back in
March or May,
I think March and April.
But somehow we're still hanging on,
Yeah.
and like we are literally like just pushing through. We got the big project finished, permits signed off. It's renting. It's renting now. We've got our second family that just moved in there, and so it's cash flowing and covering itself at least. So that's
been a huge help.
That's been a huge help because we probably would have not been able to hang on if we didn't finish that and start getting that rented. So like one little thing at a time is starting to turn around. But like as far as like personally, like we've definitely hit rock bottom. Like we've just run out of cash. We don't have any cash left. And it's not that we're, on the verge of bankruptcy, although it feels like it, we just like have personally run out of places to pull money from. And it's affected us, personally, like in a pretty deep way. To the point where like we haven't had a paycheck. We haven't paid ourselves since December. We haven't paid ourselves at all this year. And so we've just been robbing Peter to pay Paul. And we have the rental income, but most of that goes towards mortgages. So we've been like siphoning out a little bit here and there and from the business, like doing a few small contributions to ourselves, distributions just to pay what we need to, put food on the table. But it's gotten really hard because the businesses aren't doing great. The printing business has been struggling. Sales are down, and a lot of clients are slow paying right now. Everybody's hurting financially, so our clients aren't paying, and they've got credit terms with us, but they're not paying us. So then, we're not paying our bills on time with our vendors, and don't have extra money to pay ourselves. So there's not a lot of money to be able to distribute. So, we're just taking a little bit here and there, just enough to put food on the table. We're
band-aiding right now. Each day is a band-aid.
I mean, this last couple of weeks, we've really hit like with the business, everything, there's just been no money to go around anywhere. And so we kind of hit a brick wall, and you reached out to some people. Well, we've had a lot of friends like reaching out. I've had some friends reach out personally, just like asking if we were okay, listening to the podcast and asking if we were okay. And yes, we're okay. We're still surviving. We're still, have a roof over our heads. We're not living under a bridge, but we're just trying to push through and, just explaining it's like, yeah, we could pull our ripcord and sell all of our properties and be okay, but we would pay massive amounts of taxes at that point. It's just doesn't make a lot of sense. So we're really, really trying to hold on and push through and just get to the other side of this. So we'll be okay, and we'll be better off on the other side, but we just hit a tight spot. And it's hard. It's hard to do this with a family. If it was just us or even just me, I wouldn't care. But, with the family, with kids, it's really hard when you got to put food on the table and you got school that you got to pay for and sports and things like that, and that you don't want to not do. But having a family makes it very, very difficult. Would you agree?
Yes, very much so.
Yeah. It definitely makes it a lot harder.
Yeah.
So we're I feel like we're on the verge of breaking through. We're, I talked, I think the last episode or the one before about, I joined Dan Martell's coaching and just learning to buy back time and rebuild the business to run without, because I'm spread so thin. We're doing so much that I can't even keep up. Their business is picking up, more business is coming in, but I can't even keep up with it because I have my hand in too many things. I'm trying to do too many things. I'm spread way too thin that I can't properly run anything because I'm just running around trying to touch point this, touch point that, and I just can't efficiently run the businesses. So
and it's hard because I step in when I can and do things on the back end, but with 4 young kids and
it's hard to get anything done.
It's hard to get anything done. It's, we have 2 in school now, but that's still 2 at home, and nap schedules we're fighting with and appointments, and there's not a lot of free time, especially with a little baby who's on no schedule and just kind of, we have a call planned and he doesn't want to sleep. So
yeah, it's tough, but this is not something that I would recommend to anybody with a kid, or kids or family, like trying to do all this. But at the same time, like, there's no better time than now, because if you put this off for, 10, 15 years, you're going to be later in life, and it's going to be a lot harder to build something that snowballs versus when you start early.
I mean, that was one of the things I had someone from high school reach out today that hadn't talked to in a long time, and she had been listening to the podcast, and that was one of the things we were talking about. Her and her husband are doing something kind of similar, and she said, I wish we would have started this before having kids. And it's like, yeah, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Like, absolutely, this would have been, looking back, this would have been so much easier to start without having kids. But
we did start
before
kids. We just kept doing it once we had.
We weren't doing.
I've been doing this
renovation.
I've been doing this before I met you. So
yeah, but
I started earlier.
Way.
Yeah, it was in the same way, but not as much. Not like it's snowballed to where it's more now. So it's definitely a lot bigger.
Yeah,
or a lot more. We have a lot more doors. We've got
things are happening.
25
moving
doors
a lot faster. You didn't do them quite as fast. Like it was. It's different for sure, but any newly married couples, start this now before having kids, and don't wait.
Yeah, it's definitely easier if you do it before kids, but we are living proof that you can make it work. You can
still do it.
You can struggle through it, and it's not easy, but
your marriage can still survive.
Your marriage can still survive. We do this podcast, and this is our therapy session.
Our date night.
This is our date night. But
don't have money for a babysitter, so we just put the kids to bed and talk to each other on camera. It's great.
Fun stuff. But you can do this, and you can make it work. And these sacrifices that we're making now, we know are going to make life a lot easier down the road.
Yes.
I would say we are like, so with what we do, we don't have like a normal corporate job where you get you get a paycheck every week that's the same, and it's steady and reliable, and that's it. But with that kind of job, it's steady, but it doesn't go up and down. Like being an entrepreneur, there's ups and there's downs. We're definitely in a down right now, but the ups can come, and they can come really fast. There's a few small changes, and all of a sudden our whole situation is just turned around, and we're skyrocketing up. We had the property we recently finished. We actually had somebody reach out last week. A realtor just randomly called me with somebody that really wanted to buy the house. It wasn't for sale. It's not on the market. And they were in the market for a home. And so we basically got an offer for the house. We didn't take it because it wasn't. Which
was great, because houses have been sitting. So just to get an offer out of the blue like that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of houses that are sitting, but they're not like top of the line houses. Ours is a top of the line house, and so people are literally knocking on our door to buy the house. For us to sell it, it would have to be a pretty big number, because we've got a lot of debt on it, and we would have to, it would trigger some tax liability, and so we kind of threw something out there like, hey, if this is what it would take, because this is renting, the property rents for over $13,000, like $13,500 a month, and we get consistent rent on it. So it's kind of a cash cow, but at the same time, it's just barely covering expenses on it, because the carrying costs are so high. The carrying costs are about $12,000 right now, plus utilities. So we're really almost breaking even on the property. Once we refinance it, it'll be better, but they don't know that. But still,
well, they do now.
They do now, but regardless, it's just, it would take a big number for us to sell. But if somebody wanted it that bad, we would consider taking it, because
everything's for sale for the right number.
Yeah, exactly. It would offset the commissions. It would offset the closing costs. It would offset the taxes, and there was a number we kind of threw out there, see if they were interested. And they weren't interested in paying over appraisal for it for this particular buyer. But, that does happen. So with rates lowering this week, I think, or last week, people are starting to push back into the market. And if they lower, a few more basis points, I think we're going to see a lot more buyers start jumping in. And then you start getting, more demand, you start getting that frenzy, and all of a sudden prices start getting bid up over asking and over appraisal again. And if we get in a market like that, it may make sense for us to sell. And so, I mean, the number we threw out there was actually going to net us a pretty large amount. And depending on what we were able to work out with taxes, it could have we could have ended up walking away with almost $1 million net after paying everything off, which would fix a lot of our problems.
Yep.
so
Sounds
things
really nice right about now.
things can change, really fast. Now, if we would have just sold it at what it appraised for market value, we probably wouldn't have got much after paying closing costs and taxes. It wouldn't have done much for us. But, if the right offer came along, we're definitely open. So, we've got these assets that are valuable, and things can change very, very quickly when you're in that type of position.
Yes, absolutely. What else? There's been so much. Our next property.
So our next project we haven't really started yet, but we're kind of
dreaming phase.
We're in the dreaming phase, rebuilding the dream. We're not rebuilding yet. We're just dreaming. We have this property that we're currently living in because it's the most cost-effective place to live right now. Mm-hmm. And then we're kind of in the planning phases right now. We have no money to start the project, but we did get some renderings done that didn't cost a whole lot, and got a banner made for $16 and threw it up in the front yard to kind of start advertising what we're going to be doing. But once we get some, once things change and we get some money together, we do have to wait until the end of the year before we can do anything with the property, because there's a title issue we've been dealing with for almost 2 years now.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So if you buy a house, always get title insurance. If you're buying a house through a realtor, like it's going to be covered. But if you're doing something creative or doing something out of the box, like make sure you get title insurance. And here's why. Title insurance is not that expensive. It's, $500, $1,000. It's not that much compared to the cost of a property. I think it's actually a percentage of the property value. So, the more expensive the house you buy, the more it is. But on multi-million-dollar houses, it's really not that much.
Yeah.
So this property that I bought back in 2011, we cross-collateralized this on the last project. And when that lien recorded, I got a letter from the county saying, "Oh, by the way, you don't own this property fully anymore." And I was like, "What?"
That was wild.
It said like some random person's name was all of a sudden owned 25% of the property. I was like, "No, I bought this property in full." So I called the county immediately, and they said, "Yeah, there's this person that's on title from 1991. And when it was sold to the next owner," mind you, there's been like between this person and when I bought it in 2011, there was like 3 other owners.
I couldn't remember.
And it was always sold as 100%, 100%, 100%. And they said they've been trying to reach out to the person and they never responded. And so they just put them back on title. Like, what the heck? So come to find out.
So back. It's fine.
So I called I had to go dig through my closing docs, find out who the title insurance company was. I think it was Fidelity. And I called the title company, and to find out who the title insurance company was, and it was Fidelity. And so they put me in contact with them. And so they said, "Okay, this is weird. We'll call you back." So they had to go look up the chain of command or chain of ownership or whatever, and find out what was going on. So back in the 80s, whoever owned the house ended up splitting it into fractional ownership. I think it was like a family, and the parents, split the property into 10 fractional. So basically took one deed and split it into 10 deeds of 10% of each. It was a little different, but just say 10 deeds that owned 10% of the property, and like gave one to each of the kids. And so what happened was when the property was sold, each person that had a fractional ownership of that deed had to sign off that they were selling it.
That's right.
This person that owned 25% at that time never signed, and somehow it got missed. And when the deal closed, they sold it as a whole property and didn't realize that this person didn't sign off, or whatever the situation was. The 3 times that it sold before it got to me, none of the title, because they do a title search and insure it. And so none of the previous like title searches found this mistake. And so it just kept getting resold as a full property and no issues. And then all of a sudden, somehow, some way, something triggered this, and somebody found a signature was missing. And so it's been this whole ordeal. It's been going on for a year and a half now.
So crazy.
So actually closer almost to 2 years now.
I think it's been longer.
So they're supposed to, at the end of the year, supposed to have the final court date. And, you know, I have title insurance. So the title insurance provider is going to have to either get the judge to award this back into a whole deed, or if there's a family member that comes forward that is, you know, because this person passed away. This person passed away. So if there's any errors that lay claim to it, you know, then the insurance company's going to have to pay them out or fight with them or whatever, figure something out to get the title made whole again. So we can't even do anything until that's sorted out.
I kind of forgot about that.
So that's fun.
But hence why title insurance is expensive, or why
important.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Important. It is very late. Important and worth it.
Yes.
That's what I was trying to say.
So once we get that squared away, then we will, you know, we got to get the plans. You know, we kind of need to wait until that's taken care of to make sure we own the property before we start spending money on it. But, you know, we got to take the plans to the city. Well, first we got to get an engineer, pay an engineer to do plans, and then take it to the city and start the permitting process. Mm-hmm. But we'll be adding, you know, the plan is to add a lot of square footage, add a couple ADUs, add a granny flat. So we will essentially be able to turn this into 4 rentable units. And once that's up and cash flowing, it'll cash flow way better than it will as a single family home.
Yeah.
And be able to refinance and pay for all the carrying costs at that point, plus some. We're going to do this a little differently than we normally do, partly because we've run into financial issues and getting a loan is going to be a little more difficult this time around. But we're, instead of taking a hard money loan route, we're going to look into options of ways to structure this to be able to take investors in this project. And I mean, it's a pretty cool project. I think
the renderings look really good.
It looks really cool. It's a really cool concept. So we're going to look at taking investors to do the rebuild. And then once the rebuild's done, we start renting it, stabilize it, and then refinance it into a DSCR loan. And then that's the exit for the investors, and they get paid out, and they get paid out on their profit at that point. And then we'll own the property 100%, own the whole entire project, and then just have a DSCR loan on it with the rents supporting that DSCR loan. So we'll see if we're able to structure that and make that work. We'll kind of talk through that as we go along, but that's kind of the plan with that. So hopefully that works out. If we can pull this off, it will be pretty crazy like strategy that's not really being implemented. You see this in commercial more, like with syndications and things like that. But to do a single family like project like this and take investors and then exit, it's you know, we're kind of treating it like a commercial deal, but it's not. So we'll see. I don't know. We got to look at all the legalities and everything.
If you're interested, let us know.
Yeah. So we'll keep you guys updated on that project as that moves along. So
yes. We also have a new property that we're co-hosting. That's been a fun one, more in depth than what we normally do. Definitely more involved. And it's going to be another down to the wire.
Always down
to the wire.
Yeah, but this is going to be a good one. It's
going to be a good one.
It's on our local market. We get a lot of leads.
We do.
So we always...
I mean, it's already rented.
Yeah, we've always filled our properties that we're doing before they're actually done. And we were able to do the same thing for these owners. We had a lead on one of our properties, and we're like, I think they were trying to rent the last project we just finished, but we had another lead on it. And
we gave them...
first right. So we gave them the first right of refusal on it. So they didn't end up getting approved for their insurance company and took it. But then we had this one coming up. It worked perfect for these people because they were actually in that neighborhood. It actually probably worked better for them. I think
it's a better fit.
And so we were able to slide them into this one, give them first option before it even hit the market. So it worked out really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
But for the owners, I mean, they're super stoked because it's rented before it's even, it's getting painted right now.
They were so nervous about it being rented and happened really quickly. So
yeah, I mean, they just moved and they wanted to get it rented right away and start cash flowing it. But yeah, we've got it locked up for them, so they're pretty excited.
But this one's a little bit more involved. We haven't really yet furnished an entire home. This is, I think, the first one that has not been our personal.
Yeah, I think most of the houses we've done have been set up already, or they're like short-term rentals that
minor changes.
Yeah, most of them were either short-term that were already set up, or people had already wanted to set them up themselves. This one, the people were literally moving out. It's like more like our situation. Yeah. So we're like kind of like, hey, we do this. We'll jump right in. This is what we're used to. Just chaotic craziness. They got kids. So we've been helping them, just finishing up some of the construction, just like light construction and painting and getting all the furniture picked out and getting everything put together. And, it's go down to the wire because we got people coming in. So we're down to the wire, but we're going to make this happen. And it's going to be a good project. I think the house will be good. It's at a good location. And with all of our leads in the area, I think we'll do really well. And, it's something too, if people are have followed us with the co-hosting business we're building out, if you are doing this and looking for ways to do that, I would say get really good at your local market. You can expand out, but get really good at your local market. I get texts almost.
You're the local MTR guy now.
I know. I probably get, I would say almost a lead a day for Costa Mesa or surrounding areas. With all the insurance company providers that we're working with now, like I get text, emails, like we're getting so many leads now. And the more properties we get, the more leads we get. We're getting leads on all the properties, and hey, that one's not available, but I got this one coming up. And so and just networking with realtors and friends. The last project we just finished up, we just had somebody move in last week, and that was a lead that you connected with.
Yeah, that was a word of mouth, and it just really goes to show that I know you're really good at this about talking about what we do. I'm not as good about it because I think you're in it a little bit, not a little bit, you're in it a lot more than I am in your day to day. And I kind of revert back to like, I'm a stay-at-home mom, but there is like a lot more we're doing, and I need to be better about talking about it when we meet people, because this was a perfect example of someone in my life group who knew what we did and sent a referral over, and it ended up working out really well. And we're very, very grateful for that.
Yeah, and it worked out for them because it was close to home for them.
Gosh, they were so excited. They knew the next door neighbors. Yeah. They had friends a couple of doors down. It was a great fit.
And we actually held it for them.
We did.
Because we wanted to help them out, and there was somebody else that was trying to rent it. We had a couple people trying to rent it.
Yeah.
But we wanted to hold it, so we held it for a couple of weeks, which we don't normally do, but we did hold it for them just to give them the opportunity. And it worked out. They didn't end up getting approved with their insurance company. And, they'll probably be there for 4 to 6 months. So it'll be a good booking for us. And, we were able to get them into a beautiful home that's close to where they are and where they know people. And so I think that worked out really good for everybody.
Yeah. Win-win all around for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. What else? I just feel like there's been so much to catch up on.
We could probably do like 5 episodes on just
like
4 weeks. A lot happens in 4 weeks.
Yeah, it really does. Gosh, an unintentional break. We'll see about that next time.
I will say that we are like with, buying back our time. Like I did hire an executive assistant at the printing company, and she's been a lot of help just trying to organize my emails and calendar and just get everything all organized, really trying to free up a lot of my time. We're also going to be implementing that with, the co-hosting as that builds up and starts getting more momentum. Like I'm running around doing everything right now, and it's not sustainable, but once that's profitable enough, then we'll be able to bring on somebody to do that day-to-day operation stuff, that all the running around that I do and checking on the properties. And I did a post last weekend of what a typical Saturday morning looks like. And it was like, the first half of the day, I'm just, I'm up at 5 and I'm checking. I had 3 properties that we were turning over that morning, and it was just kind of a crazy morning with doing that, and then running back home and going to soccer, and then going to breakfast, and then going right back out to it. And then on top of the turnovers, we're shopping for this other property we're setting up. And so, it's kind of a family business. It's a family affair for sure. But
yeah, the boys are starting to have a lot of fun with it. Isla too, I guess.
They
but-
can't wait until this next project starts. They're like,
oh my gosh, they're
they
so
they've
excited.
got
Well,
they've
they
got
helped
plans.
you with
Oh,
like the
gosh.
rendering. Braxton told me the other day he's going to be a construction worker for Halloween because he's going to do the full construction on this house.
Oh, they think that they're going to be the GCs.
Yes.
They've been like watching us do the plans, the renderings. Like they're like, this is such a cool house. Like we can't wait. When are we going to start the demo? When is the crane going to be here?
He told me he wasn't
When-
going to school anymore. So he could work
Just
on the
gonna be a
house. And I was
construction
like, no.
No, they're ready for the equipment to come in and start
Yeah.
demoing, tearing down
They're
walls.
so excited.
I don't know what they want the cranes for, but they want cranes coming in for stuff. They've got all
Because
kinds
they're
of ideas.
obsessed with cranes.
I'm sure. Well,
They
what we're
just
doing,
want a
we're gonna have some
crane
pretty
so
big
bad.
beams, so we might actually have to have some cranes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they are planning this project out for like, yeah, they're very excited. about it.
Their future will be starting very early in terms of the family business, I
Yes.
guess. It's cute though.
It's funny.
It really is. It's from late night furniture shopping and talking about all this. I mean, it really is a family business, and they're at a fun age where they're really starting to kind of grasp it and understand, and they know. Like we went back to the last house, and I was a little nervous about them being there, but they're like, okay, we don't live here anymore, but someone else is gonna live here, and they're gonna pay us to live here. Like he verbalized that all to me.
Yeah, so we're teaching them, because they like, we own 3 properties within the 3 neighborhoods, like the 3 neighboring neighborhoods, and they know that we own them and they're ours because we're still going and doing maintenance and
They
doing
know which house we're
turnovers.
going to. Like they know the streets, or be like, oh, are you going to this house today? Are you
Yeah.
going to that house? And I mean, we move a lot, especially for young kids. Like it's good for them to understand like why we're doing this. And
But they know that these are houses that we still own.
yes,
And we explain to them that we're letting other people live in them, and they're paying us money to live in them. And so they understand that concept.
I don't know
which-
how we'll ever be able to stay in a house long term. They're going to be like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
here?
like when are we
Why
moving?
when are we moving? Why are we still here?
Yeah.
I will say they have a great eye for design. Like when we're on our walks and they see houses, like they're not showing me the old dirty house on the block that they love. Like they're like pointing out the new construction ones. Like, wow, mommy, that's a really nice house. I'm like, you're right, it is. They're definitely catching on for sure. Wow, I can't even talk.
They definitely have good taste. Have your
They've got an
taste.
eye for design. Oh, thank you. I do. I won't argue that one.
All right. So what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about some of the issues we've been having. One of the things that we like to touch point on is that we've got all these properties and all these investments, but things don't always go smoothly. So we do like to expose the, not just the wins. We do talk about the wins, but we also like to talk about the losses so that people know, hey, it's not,
It's not always smooth sailing. It's not as glamorous as it looks to be an entrepreneur.
things go wrong, and that's
Own
just what you have
homes.
to deal with. Yeah,
You're
exactly.
not just well off because you're owning homes like everyone assumes.
Yes.
The assumptions we always get.
But I mean,
Well, let's see.
people do, yes, we are having a hard time right now. But I think a lot of people, we're cash broke. We do have wealth built up. We have assets. We've got businesses, but we're very cash broke right now. But I think a lot of people like maybe that don't know our actual situation, they see that, we own all these properties, and people just assume that like, you must have all this money. You must have all this cash laying around. Like, things must be great. Or they see that we've got like, nice cars. I've got a nice car that's paid off, which our car is actually kind of old now.
Yeah, it is. I was
2018. So it's
talking
that
about it.
7 or 8 years old. Like, it's a Tesla Model X. It still looks good. Luckily they don't change their body style much. Like, it looks like it's still pretty new. But it was a business. That was a business. It was a corporate purchase, and we took we actually wrote off the entire amount it was 100% write off through Section 179. It was a business vehicle. And then once that was completely realized in depreciation, we transferred it to our family trust, and now it's a family vehicle. So it's a paid off vehicle, which actually is helping us a lot right now, because we
Couldn't make a car payment.
we're not making a car payment, and we don't have to pay for gas.
Yeah. The no gas thing is huge. That reminds me actually when you said, I keep thinking, like, I wonder what people's idea of broke is. Like, I was going to do a poll about this to see, or I would, write into us, send us a DM. I'll probably do something on Instagram about it. But I'm very curious what people classify broke as. Like, broke it's different things to different people, right? Like, is it like you hit a certain dollar amount in your checking account and you're like, oh, I'm broke? Is it like not being able to do the things or buy the things that you want to, and that makes you broke? Because I feel like that term gets thrown around a lot, like, oh, we're so broke, or we're house poor, or this or that. You hear that a lot. But I'm just very curious of if someone feels like they're truly broke, like, what does that mean for them? I'm going to do a little market research on this.
I mean, I think it's different for everybody, but, broke in the sense of we're like our situation where it's cash broke. We have assets.
Like barely buying groceries, cash broke.
Yeah, like really
Truly
cash broke.
Truly have no cash available.
But we do have the assets to fall back on. So we know we're going to be okay. It's just like we got to get through this rough patch and get to the other side to where we are okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the things that we wanted to talk about is we want to talk about when an investment doesn't make sense. And what I mean by that is so rental properties don't make as much sense as they did 10 years ago. When I first started investing more heavily, there was the 2% rule, and it's like, if you buy a rental property, you should be able to rent it out and get 2% of what you paid for it should be your rent. And like, that doesn't exist anymore. So margins are smaller, and it still makes sense because you still have depreciation, you still have your cash flow, you still have your equity that you're gaining from appreciation. But there's times and there's certain areas where it just doesn't make sense anymore. We bought and sold a lot of properties in South Carolina, and it's getting more and more difficult to make these investments make sense.
Oh my gosh, those houses were so inexpensive when you started buying them. Wasn't one of them like $25,000?
Yeah, I bought a lot of them
Insane.
when I first started buying them. I was buying them for about $25,000. I'd put maybe $5,000, $10,000 into them. I rented them for 5, 6, 7 years. And then, I sold most of them off in the last few years. I sold a lot of them. And they were selling for, $100,000, $120,000. So they were really good returns. A lot of these are in the 401k. So our 401k did really, really well. But there's a property that the last property that I acquired in South Carolina was a property. It was like $45,000. So it's still, still getting good deals on properties. It was a smaller property, but probably put about, $15,000 into it, put new roof on it and new HVAC. I put new HVAC. Probably put about, maybe 15, 20,000 into it. New flooring. It's nice. It's a small little bungalow, but it's nice. It's got a good lot. It's in a really good part of town, good city. But this city, I just started buying this city last year or a year and a half ago. This city it's a different county than the other properties we had. And this county is like on the ball with their tax assessments. And so they do a tax assessment every year, whereas the other county never did that. So I bought a property for $25,000 and held it for 7 years. After renovating it, I was still paying property taxes on the $25,000 price. This county is like, you buy it, we're driving by, and you're doing renovations. Oh, okay, it's worth 3 times what it was when you bought it now, and they are like on top of it. So this property, it like the taxes like tripled for no reason. I guess a reason, but like
they had a reason.
Not for me. It's not a reason. It doesn't make sense.
A reason you didn't like.
No, it's a reason I didn't like. Like it almost doesn't make sense. Like the taxes now, the property rents for $1,000 a month, and the taxes just tripled. So they went from, I think it was like maybe $1,200 to $3,600. And it's like, that eats up a lot of your margin. And all of a sudden it's like, it doesn't make sense to rent this out. It's like, it's almost just breaking even. Like,
Yeah.
what's the point? So unfortunately the renter re-signed a year lease. So I'm stuck with this for another year. So I'm looking at possibly selling this property with a tenant in place. Because the other part too is being an out-of-state investor in South Carolina. South Carolina charges a premium for out-of-state investors on the taxes. So you get like
Extra tax.
Yeah, extra tax.
Your favorite thing.
So it's like they have a property tax for homeowners, then they have a property tax for investors, and then they have an additional income tax if you're an out-of-state investor.
Is that normal for states to have? I don't feel like
South Carolina, I think so.
I didn't realize that about an investor tax versus a homeowner tax.
Actually, yeah, I don't know anywhere else that does that because everywhere else is still like the same. You pay the same tax, whether it's an investment or your primary. The taxes don't. I mean, there's other benefits, but the taxes don't actually change.
I did not realize that.
So, but yeah, so the taxes have really made it hard to pencil out these deals. So I'm looking at like offloading this property because it's not. I've already pushed appreciation, did the renovation, did actually a really nice renovation on it. But at this point, it's not going to appreciate a whole lot more. It's not a real high appreciation area. So yeah, it'll appreciate more. And yeah, I could spend another $20,000, $30,000 onto it and do some more renovations and push a little more appreciation, but it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at selling that. I mean, I bought that it was all cash. And so there's no loan on it or anything. So we've got some options to be able to do some seller finance on it or something and sweeten the deal for somebody. But I'm considering selling it just because there's no real benefit to the long-term rent. It's not really cash flowing much, a couple $100 a month, like whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
So
not doing much.
It doesn't really do much at this point. So, at some point, especially, taxes and insurance and but like in places like in Texas, like we've had some properties in Texas, we're having insurance issues. Florida, I know is real bad. Like
we're having insurance issues here.
Oh yeah. We've got, okay. So that's actually another good talking point. We have, and I know we hit on this before.
Oh yeah. I don't think we did an update on this.
We have a property that we rent that has a cedar shake roof, and it's not that old of a roof and it doesn't leak and it's under warranty. But after the Palisades fires, insurance company said, we're not insuring anything that can catch fire. So they gave us a do not renew letter and said, if you don't replace your roof, we're not going to insure you. And it's almost $40,000 for a new roof.
Yes, that's not happening.
So we don't have $40,000 laying around right now. We're just trying to make the mortgage payments. So we had to get what's called a non-admitted carrier, meaning it's an out-of-state insurance company that's not admitted in the state. It's a higher risk for them, but they'll insure anything, but they charge you for it. So, we were paying, I think, $2,400 a year for our insurance premium on that property. We are now paying $14,000. I think it's actually more than $14,000. It's around $14,000 for the same insurance coverage, but just because. So
just because. That's
fun. So, our mortgage payment went up considerably because of that. So we're getting a little creative. There are some programs to be able to get solar through a power purchase agreement. And
one of the things I love so much about you is you don't just take that like this is just what it is. You figure out a way to make it work. You're not just like, oh, I'm just paying this $14,000 now.
Well, we are.
Well, yeah,
we are
okay,
right
yes,
now,
we are. But you're not just okay with it. Like you're. A lot of people just be like, oh, well, that is what it is. Nope, not you.
Yeah, I'm definitely trying to figure out how to
be creative.
Get creative with this.
That's a word I need to.
And so we're in a situation where we can't just finance. We can't just get another loan. We've already got 3 positions on there. We can't do anything with it. We've run out of money. Like, where do we come up with $40,000? So it's been a bit of an issue, but there was. A new solar program. I've never been a big fan of solar because it never really made sense. It was like the money you're spending, just there was no real benefit in the long run that I could see with these programs. It was just like
he was not a fan.
No, I mean it's cool, it's solar or whatever. Yeah, it's great, but it was never really that beneficial. Well, this program now we're with the new power purchase. So you're not buying the solar panels, you're buying the power, and this company's putting the solar panels on the house. So they own the solar panels and they're just charging you for the power. You're paying a power bill to the solar company now. But with this program and with some of the incentives that are available, we can't put solar on the house with the roof we have. It'll catch fire because solar panels get really hot underneath. So you can't even put solar panels with this type of roof. So in order to install the solar panels, they have to put a new roof on. And so with this agreement, this program, we're able to basically finance the cost of the roof and everything, put it into our power bill. Our power bill is still going to lower. So we're going to save money on the monthly electricity that we're using in this house, and the roof is paid for with no money out of pocket. So seems like a pretty good deal if we can make it work.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
We are having to get a little creative because of our current financial situation. I have been deemed not worthy of the program because it is essentially a loan.
We're not credit worthy currently.
We're not worthy.
That's a really sucky thing about this.
I know. We went from having $500,000 in the bank and 850 credit score 2 years ago.
Perfect credit to, I don't know when we're ever going to get a credit card again.
Yeah. So don't do things the way we do it. We've taken it to the extreme.
Just let us be your guinea pigs.
So we've had to get more creative with it, which is a lot of what we do and what we teach people and help people through is creative financing and creative, solutions to your problem. So we do this for ourselves. So if we can pull this off, we are going to have to be doing some creative things like moving the property into a trust that's controlled by somebody that's going to be on the agreement that actually is credit worthy. I have a family member that's going to be helping out with that, and we're getting very creative.
We love him.
We're getting creative legally, but we're getting creative on how we pull this together to be able to make this work. And I'm going to compensate him for putting his name on the agreement and being tied to it, because if we don't pay the power bill, they come after him. So there is a bit of risk to him, but he knows the property's running and cash flowing and able to support itself. But this is a very creative
How many times are you going to say creative?
Because this is like the most creative thing we've ever done.
No, the other house one. Okay. Maybe.
No, this I think is more creative than the last one.
True.
Like
that's true.
We're getting a brand new roof and lowering our electric bill.
True. That's pretty unheard of.
And okay, we're lowering our electric bill. We're getting a new roof, which we're gonna have to do at some point, regardless. And we're lowering our insurance, which shouldn't be $14,000 a year, but it is.
Ridiculous.
We're lowering our insurance by $11,500 per year.
Yeah.
Like
right.
this is a no-brainer. We just got to make it all work. So. Moving the property into a trust and having to do some maneuvering to get him controlling the property so that they like the situation, and we're getting creative with it. That's all I'm going to say at that point. Yes. We'll update you if this actually works or not, because it hasn't worked
TBD
yet. So
on that one.
I can't say, hey, go do this because this works, because we haven't actually gotten it to work yet.
Because we're not credit worthy currently. So.
But if we can get this to work, like this is a super creative way to basically get a 0%, or I shouldn't say 0% because it's a factoring. Well, I don't even know what kind of, you're buying the power, so you're still paying for it.
Yeah, I don't fully understand this one.
It's just financed over 30 years, or I think it's actually 25 years. They're making their money back, but they're making it back through the power that we're paying for, because it's cheaper for them to generate the power than what they're charging us. If we weren't doing the roof, it would be less because that extra expense wouldn't be there on the front end, but it's a way to be able to get really cheap financing for us with no money down. So we're hoping that this works out.
So we just don't have a bill?
No, we have a bill. So essentially, we're going to be paying about $400.
So we'll pay the solar bill.
The solar bill. So instead of paying SoCal Edison $500 a month for power like we do now, we pay the solar company. It's like $380 a month for solar. So that's going to be our electricity, and it comes with a Tesla Powerwall, so it stores energy during the day that it makes up, and then you use that at night. And then you're paying for the solar usage rather than paying SoCal Edison.
Yeah, that's right.
So it actually lowers our bill for that rental property. So
All right.
we'll see.
See
Very
if we
exciting
can make
stuff.
it happen.
Very exciting stuff. This is just one of the many creative ways we try to survive.
You know, I don't know where I'd be without you. Truly.
What's some other things? Some other updates? Oh, so
We
updates
We fired. I'm getting tired here. We fired our property manager. That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, actually, they actually didn't. They actually fired themselves.
They didn't renew.
They didn't. No, they
were
were
tired of
renewed,
working
and
with
they
us.
they were in the contract, and they decided they didn't want to do it anymore.
They weren't doing their job.
That's true. They weren't doing their job, and they got tired of not doing their job and having a hard time.
They couldn't fill that space, and you did it in like less than a day.
So we bought this apartment building a year and a half ago,
Ridiculous.
14 units, and got this property management company in place, which I thought was going to be they're very professional. I thought that was going to be a great move. And they just had a hard time filling units. And I thought maybe it was the property, maybe it was something, I don't know.
Location, something like.
Well, it's not a great location.
Right,
So I
we
thought
kinda
maybe that's
figured
what it
that was part of
I'm like,
it.
okay,
Yeah.
maybe it's not their fault and they're not that bad
it
at
just
marketing.
was like not a good buy for us. Like not a.
But they ended up wanting to end the contract, and I thought about doing this. I was just so busy. I didn't have time to do it at the time, so I renewed another year with them. But they kind of gave me an out to be able to move on. And in the meantime, I had actually had a contractor work there on a project, and he said his wife used to actually manage the property. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I called him up and got in touch with her, and she was actually like, yeah, like we'll take this property. Like I think it was a couple owners ago that she used to manage it, but they had just a lot better marketing in place and a lot better track record of filling units. And so decided to move it over. And before we even completed the process of transitioning, before they even turned electricity on or turned the utilities on in their name, they had already negotiated a purchase agreement or a power purchase agreement. So in Texas, I did not know this. In Texas, you can get power from different companies.
What do you mean? You
Like-
can choose like how you can choose
Yeah.
cable or internet?
Yeah, I didn't know.
What?
Like, yeah. So in California,
Oh,
I don't know, like if it's a union thing or I don't know what it is, but they're like,
there's one power company.
you don't have it. It's a monopoly. You don't have a choice. If
Yeah.
you're in, our area, Orange County and LA, you're buying from SoCal Edison, and you don't have a choice unless you're doing solar.
Yeah.
I think down in San Diego, it's PP
SDG&E,
SDG&E.
San Diego Gas and Electric.
But you don't have a choice. There's no other options for power companies. In Texas, it's
You have
like
choices.
Yeah, it's like
Huh.
a free market. So you
it's
like
choices on lots of things.
so
there.
they compete like because with a monopoly, like they just raise the rates and there's nothing anybody can do. What are you gonna do? Not have power?
You know what? This doesn't actually surprise me.
So
It was
they
so
actually like you can actually negotiate your power bill, and so they negotiated a price per kilowatt, and the price they negotiated is half of what we've been paying for the last year and a half. So the electric bill's like almost $2,000 a month. So before they even took on the property, they saved us $6,000 a year just with this. I don't know what. I didn't know it was an option. I don't know why the other property management didn't.
Did you know that beforehand?
No.
That
I was like, what do you mean what do you mean you're negotiating? What does that mean? I'm like, I didn't know you could do that. And like, oh yeah, we're talking like
just negotiate the price?
They're like, we're talking to 2 or 3 different power companies. I'm like, you can get different power
There's
companies.
different power
I had no
companies?
idea. That's crazy. So
that's did not realize that.
yeah. So anyway, that they saved us $6,000 a year, which was our biggest overhead expense just before they even took on the property. On top of that, I had been sending leads. I started doing Facebook Marketplace ads before and sending all the leads to the property management company, and they hadn't closed any of them. And I was like, what is going on with this? And I actually went through their like application process, and it was really difficult. It was like a very tense application. And the place, these are not high-end homes. Like they rent for like, $700, $900 a month. Like it's not like what they were asking for was like, I felt way too much for the market. And this other company, I think, had an easier application, but I sent them a lead before they even fully had taken on, and before I had signed a contract, they'd already filled one of the units. They'd already taken one of the leads I sent them just the first week I was sending them leads, and already like converted the leads. So like, okay, so maybe it is the property management company.
Yeah.
So just, I didn't realize that it made that much of a difference. But now, we've got this property between what I was filling on. I was using Airbnb to fill units, and between what I've been able to do and what they've been able to do, we already have a full property now, and it was never full with this other management company ever. So it's been bleeding cash. So that's good. And then I'm actually looking, we have a duplex in another city in Texas. And I'm actually looking at switching that one because the property management for that one hasn't done a very good job either, filling, like there's a vacant unit. It's been vacant for a while. So, definitely like property management does matter, and the marketing differs like widely between different companies.
Yeah.
So that's a lesson learned, I guess, but now we're getting back on the right track, and we'll get that property operating smoothly and stabilized. And we're excited about getting that one moving forward. So that's good.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
All right. I think it's late. This has been a long day. This is it's our anniversary, 8th anniversary. So
Spending it with all of you.
Spending it with all of you. We're gonna go to bed and probably not gonna have sex. We're just gonna pass out. To be honest.
For sure, passing out. I'm about to pass out at the table.
We're not. It's just gonna be pass out. Anyway, any last words?
You usually do the book, but right now I'm going to do a book because I'm actually reading, which doesn't normally happen. I've been committed to waking up earlier, and this is one of the things that you have kind of instilled with your routine. And it's really hard for me to wake up early in the morning, but I was really committed to doing this, to making our morning, school, everything less chaotic. And because the end of last year got really bad with rushing out the door, and I wanted to really put a stop to that. So I've been waking up earlier regardless of if I'm working out or not, and staying consistent. In the days I don't work out, I've been reading Habits of the Household. I'll have to pull the book out to see the author's name. I'm drawing a blank right now. We're reading it in one of our Bible studies, but it's just a really good, insight into parenting and good positive habits to get into. It kind of breaks it down into like mornings, bedtime, mealtime, screen time, devotional with your family. And I'm really enjoying it. We've implemented some of the morning routines, some of the things. I mean, we were trying to do some good morning routines before I started reading this, but we've implemented some different ones, and it's been really good. So it's Habits of the Household, Practicing the Story of God in Everyday Family Rhythms by Justin Whitmill Early. And it's really good. So highly suggest it. You have any final words?
No, not really.
You haven't even said that you're so impressed that I'm waking up so early. This is big for me.
I actually am. So I've been getting up and working out and getting back into my, I've recovered post-op.
I forgot. That was our last episode.
I think it was. I had some people reach out about it. I forgot that we talked about that.
Check and see if your balls are okay.
I had a rough recovery. Apparently, it's not normally that rough. I also got kicked pretty hard by my daughter, which didn't help with the healing process.
She's a beast, man.
Might have extended
about her than any.
Might have extended it a couple of weeks, but I've been working out early, getting up at 5 a.m. and going working out, and then we'll either switch off or we'll switch days. And so I think just getting back in the routine, being healthy, and getting into that routine, so we feel good about ourselves, physically. I think that helps mentally and kind of helps get through the day. Like
mentally, even though they wake up probably 2 minutes after I wake up, no matter how early I get out of bed, it still feels better to be out of bed before versus being woken up by them.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I just think like we appreciate all the feedback. We appreciate our friends reaching out, making sure we're okay. No, we're not okay, but we will be okay. Appreciate you reaching out.
Just one day at a time.
We're going to get through this. We'll be fine. this is all, it's all going to pay off in the end for us.
We really have had some amazing support. And so those people know who they are. And we are just very, very thankful for everyone.
Yeah,
we have a wonderful
absolutely.
group of friends and community around us.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited to get this studio built out and start doing, in-person interviews and really start ramping up. And we just appreciate all the support, all the listeners, continue to share if you're getting value out of this, please tell your friends, tell anybody you know. If you can give us a review, that helps us a lot.
Yeah.
It just helps the show get, found by more people. So if you can, like it, it's just the liking, it just takes a second. All you do is just click on it. If you think it's a 1-star show, please don't share your thoughts.
If you don't like it, don't review it. But if you like it, please do.
Yeah. And if you leave an actual review, it only takes like 30 seconds. You just write a little sentence or two and with your review, like that's huge in helping it. We don't make money on this. We're not selling advertisements. We're not signed to a big deal. This costs us money to do this. This costs us a lot of money to do it. Costs money. And we've got the equipment and everything, but it's really like the time to try to get, we got to do this after the kids go to bed. We got to do this, and I got to stay up and do all the editing, it takes a lot. So it's a lot.
I realize this is why I tell people I don't work, because I don't actually get paid for anything we do.
Yeah.
So it feels like I'm not working, even though I'm doing a lot of things.
Yeah. And then we will, there's going to be a lot more information coming on the community. We will be launching that soon. We're just getting that together, and we'll bring that, update you guys on that.
I'll have a pre-launch list for that.
Yeah. But we're really excited about this, and like just building a community of like-minded people that are in kind of the same phase in life and looking to build wealth.
I'm excited to just be in a space with people in a similar situation as us, because I'm very guilty of feeling like we're the only ones doing this, that we're stupid enough to do what we're doing.
She thinks we're the only people that have kids trying to build wealth. Like, and I know that maybe
I feel like we're more broke that's why I was asking like people's range of brokenness, because I feel like we're a lot more broke than others, but maybe not. So I need this reassurance. If you're listening and you're broke, let me know how broke you are.
But not just broke, but like broke with a purpose. Like, you're an entrepreneur, you're building a business and you're putting everything into that, or you've got, rental properties or some sort of investment that you're building and
not
building
poor.
for the future.
I didn't say poor.
Yes.
Broke.
Yes. Good job. You learned something in this podcast.
Oh my God.
Nothing else. You've learned something. Mission accomplished.
Wow.
All right. You're falling asleep. That was a lot longer than we planned on going tonight, but let's wrap it up.
All right.
All right. Anything else? We're good?
We're good.
All right, guys, get out there and make it happen.